when it comes to the ethics, probably it's carrying a 15% weightage as a part of the exam, but most of the times it is like practicing as many questions as possible, because if we look at it at a very broad scale, it is nothing but some of the good practices that we follow as a part of we need to follow as a part of a CFA profession, as a part of investment analysis. So probably if we look at it on a very broad scale, it appears as if we know all these things, right? Probably what is good to do, what is not good to do. But the kind of questions that are typically framed are from the perspective that there could be minute glitches here and there in the options, right? Probably the question would come out as in this case, I mean some scenario would be given, and finally says, is this a violation against the code of ethics, right? So there is a very minute difference that is existing between option choice A, B, C. So to really understand whether it's a violation or not, rather than trying to read each of the point in detail, look at the examples that are given in the book, right? Okay, in this scenario, this is a violation. Why? Read through it in that manner. It gets, I mean, one, you can read through the small caselet with some interest. Okay, this guy started, I mean, he has given some kind of a solution to the client. So the client has actually given him some kind of a gift as a recognition of his solution. Now, did this guy violate or did not violate the code of ethics? So, such kind of questions would be. So, probably if you look at that example, even in the book, there could be some kind of an explanation for you saying this is not a violation because it was initially treated as a part of the agreement itself, that if the profits cross this much, this has to be paid. So I would look at it as a compensation rather than any kind of an undue benefit gift. So once you read through the various examples, it comes out that, okay, in what cases should I treat this as a violation and in what cases it is not a violation, right? So here I would just cover briefly in the various aspects which are discussed and some of the core points, but the major part of it lies in you reading through the various examples that are highlighted itself. So typically some of the key things, probably you don't see anything big in them. The professional conduct is something which each one of us have to follow as a part of our profession, and probably as a part of the taker of the exam also. It starts right from this stage itself. So these are the rules of the procedure relating to the professional conduct, and there is a disciplinary review committee of the CFA Institute, wherein it says the board of governors are the overall responsible, not board of governors not of the company but the CFA Institute. The board of governors of the CFA Institute have the overall responsibility for the professional conduct program. So they can keep changing the standards and code of conduct. They can even cross-examine whosoever have violated it, and they can even get into an inquiry, all these things for any kind of a violations they receive, that some X has violated some kind of a code of conduct. So there could be, I mean, after proper investigation, it could very well the designated officer by the board of governors, they can very well come out that no disciplinary action can be taken, just like any other case. Somewhere in BCCI or some other boards also we see similar kind of things happening, right? Either a disciplinary action will be taken or some kind of show cause notice will be issued, right? So some kind of cautionary letter can come out, or some kind of a disciplinary action which could go from a very low level of punishment to even revocating of your CFA designation, and all these things also could typically happen as a part of the code of a violation of the code of ethics. So some of the things that are being discussed here, probably they look as if they are all good manners, good practices kind of thing, right? Act with integrity, competence, diligence, respect. We all know these, and in an ethical manner with the public, with the clients and the prospective clients, employers, employees, colleagues, and all other people in the investment market, and place the integrity of the profession and the interest of the clients above the personal interest. I mean, these are all ideological, right? Saying, okay, for me, work is more than my personal interest. Of course, this everyone knows. So the examples that are typically taken will have small deviations. So that is what we need to identify with utmost care and mark the appropriate answer. Sometimes the answers would be confusing, and that's where the more and more you practice the examples, that confusion will go off, because theoretically we may find, yeah, all of them are looking much closer. So, but when you are looking at the example in reality, that is where you will see, oh, this is a violation because of these reasons. So, use reasonable care and exercise independent professional judgment. We'll talk about this. When you are giving a judgment, make sure that it is not a biased opinion of some of your colleagues. Sometimes we are very much into the habit of copy pasting. So probably someone else's recommendation we may pose it as our recommendation. Even those things are a violation. So make it, and even independence also talks about from the dimension of, don't get influenced in your decision just because someone has paid you much more to give a decision in his favor. Like, okay, if some company is not performing good, but still you are compensated from the other company. See, someone said, okay, you give a buy rating on our company and we will give you this much, right? So probably because of that you are changing your decision. Though this company is not doing a good kind of a company, you give your rating saying, yeah, this company has an excellent future. That means you are getting biased. You are not making your decision independently. You are biased with the kind of gift you are receiving from the other party. So probably these are all like, this is not a compensation. This is not a challenge, because otherwise you could have given a sell decision on the company shares, but now you are giving a buy decision just because you are getting a different compensation from the client. These kind of things you have to avoid. Make sure that you are taking reasonable care and exercise in making your decision independent. Even any analysis you are doing, any recommendation you are making, or making anyone invest or pull out investments in anything, all these have to be taken with reasonable care itself. And it's also talking about, make everyone practice in a professional and ethical manner. Every company talks about these kind of things as a part of their regular work practice itself. But yeah, now that we are getting into a CFA profession also talks from these dimensions itself. So anything integrity of the capital market and all, please maintain all those things. Professional competence, make sure that you upgrade your skills regularly so that you can give better advice to the customers on a regular note. From that dimension, it is talking about the 7 various aspects for us. So the 7 major standards. One is from a professionalism standpoint. One is maintaining the integrity of the capital markets. Then how do you behave with your clients? How do you behave with your employers? And what do you do as a part of the investment analysis you are providing? If at all there are some conflict of interest between your party A and party B, how do you try to get into those kind of conflicts? And finally, relating to the exam and CFA membership and all those things, the responsibilities from that dimension. So coming to the professionalism, it has identified a few aspects like, it's better that you know the law. Again, law from the perspective of, especially associated with the investments part, majorly relating to regulatory bodies, any licensing agencies that are there, especially relating to your profession. Some law relating to SEBI rules, some laws relating to any other, like if you are getting into investment, insurance kind of investment, what does the IRDS act and all talk about, or how does so wherever whatever are linked to your investment decisions, mutual funds, what are the acts relating to the mutual funds, so have an understanding about the law.